Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Dang. What's up? How you doing? How are you doing today? Are you ready to have some fun? Are you ready to talk about the things and stuff? You tell me now. Well, I don't care if you are. I'm playing the music now. Well. Look who it is. It's you. Welcome back to another episode of the best worst show on the internet. Let me tell you, this show sucks. Anyways, it's another episode of Griftcast IRL, that show that we do when we want to go out there and make some money. Oh, somebody be missing you on the Discord. Discord. Who's Discorded me over here? Oh, somebody just posted links, I guess, or something? Is it a meme? Better be some titties or something. What's up? If not, don't be bothering me. Anyways, what's going on? How you guys doing today? Welcome back. We got some more happenings. Was it day 4? I can't even remember how many days. It already feels like it's all bleeding together again. But anyways, there's been a lot of going on. It's a Thursday. And yeah, man, there's been like a shift in global consciousness or something like that. Maybe some people are getting fed up. I don't know what the hell is happening. But it does feel at least a little bit nice. So if you like this show or you hate this show, make sure you hit the like button, the down button. I don't care. Whatever. Do you do you, but you know what you're supposed to do. So I ain't even gonna try to like jive you on that turkey action or any of that other stuff. What I am gonna do though is be like, damn, this one's starting to act a little bit weird, man. Seems like things are heating back up because we really haven't talked too much about what's been going on with Russia, Israel, and shit like that, but I guess there's been some developments. There's been some posturing. There's been some thought-provoking changes that I guess are moving forward in this particular repertoire, as it were. It seems that, I don't know, maybe Trump is finally seeing the light or the darkness for some people. Yeah, it looks like they might be changing their stance on not only Russia, but Israel. Trump's deciding that he's going to be going, yeah, we're going to be getting those assholes big time, motherfucker. That's what we're going to be doing. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Kind of seems a little interesting. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm hearing. I want to see more of it. I want to see what's going to happen. I want to jump the gun, but it's a development. We got some developments in Russia. People are backing something up on it. And then we got this, like, the Israel question. Because, I don't know what it is. Some people, they just can't help themselves is what I look about. Because I hate going back to the good old glory days 8 years ago. But, somebody wanted me to talk about Jason Goodman. And, I mean, I feel like Jason Goodman was the first time that I had ever personally experienced a quote-unquote Jewish person in a fit of rage, and it was terrifying. I mean, that guy was a freak, yo. That guy was saying some crazy-ass shit, yo. But at the same time, like, he was attacking people left and right, and it's just hilarious because I started looking it up and, like, trying to see what's going on, what the hell is fucking happening with this dude? And, I mean, he's still fucking mad about that shit, and I already done apologized, showed him the emails, prostrated myself to this motherfucker, and he still treats me like I'm a lower human being than him. And, I just didn't understand any of that shit. And I'll be honest with you, before that time, my interest in Judaism was very low, right? Because I was just like, I don't know, I'm Catholic. Those are the other guys or whatever. They got the little hats, they eat the crackers, they got those. I don't even know what you call those. I still don't know what you call those things. Anyways, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that, I never really cared to know too much about it, but, I knew of that there had been some things that were happening, but it's been pissing me off as of late, right? Because in the sense of we as America, we're the world police, as it were. We've been sending thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of dollars worth of equipment, trillions of dollars worth of equipment, actually, trillions, just trillions. We spent trillions of dollars as a society. We spent trillions of dollars, and we've been investing it in the Middle East and other places because, it doesn't matter. Somebody spent some money on that shit somewhere, right? And, and we've been funding the war against Russia. Like, there's really no way that you could get around that. But at the same time, we've been funding all the bombing and shit that's been going on in Gaza. Did I say it right? Sorry. Anyways, and, for the most part, a lot of people try to stay out of that thing because, they don't want to be labeled an anti-Semite, right? But these days, it's like how people started throwing around the word Nazi. It's like, if you didn't like what the Jews were doing, you were a Nazi. Then it evolved to being like anyone that does things that you don't like is apparently a Nazi now these days, as it were. And then we have like anti-fascists and shit. And it's just really weird how all this stuff is happening in America. And, the people that I guess, coined the term, as it were, have really started using it again. And it's just kind of weird, right? Because we got world leaders going to this country, proselytizing themselves, having religious experiences, getting paid, whatever. And I think, really, we got to go look at what they're talking about, right? We got to go look at what they're talking about. Like, from experience of Jason Goodman and how vicious that guy was for no good reason other than the fact that he just felt that he had the right for some reason to treat other people the way that he does. But, essentially, he used being Jewish as a crutch. It was always everything versus me. Everybody's attacking me. Oh, you're doing it because you don't like Jews. Blah, 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 blah. It was so fucking faux pas to the point where we actually saw the other side of the, I guess, Jewish people. I don't have very much experience with very many of them, to be perfectly honest with you. But good old Glenn Herman, he was Jewish. Did you guys know that? And I like Glenn. Glenn seemed to be a pretty put-together guy, had a nice little property, liked guns, he wanted protection, but at the same time, he would be like the first person stepping up saying, yo, this is all fucking bullshit, man. I don't want to see this shit. I don't want to be involved in any of this crap. And I mean, these other people over here, I wish he was here so we could ask him. You know what I'm saying? It just makes me think crazy things. And then, you look at where people are. But today, this is from the Times of Israel, right? Trump says Israel not going to do anything with the West Bank, and the U.S. fumes over annexation votes. Huh. The Israelis can't treat us like Joe Biden's administration official tells the Knesset after advanced preliminary legislation for annexed parts of the West Bank while Vance was visiting. Yes, the vice president went to Israel to visit, but his visit to Israel obviously seems to be a little different. Instead of going and proselytizing to the wall and kissing it and hanging out with all that shit, he spent all his time going to Christian churches and to the holiest of the holy places, for his religion. And I think that's actually a breath of fresh air. I was almost not going to vote for, I'm still probably not going to vote for him because he's a fucking Marine, but not making that happen. I'm not making that mistake again.
The West Bank vote yesterday that took place while you were in the country. Oh, yeah, that was weird. That was weird. I was sort of confused by that.
Now,
I actually asked somebody about it, and they told me that it was a symbolic vote. Some
symbolic vote.
Or a symbolic vote to annex the West Bank. I mean, what I would say to that is when I asked about it, somebody told me that it was a political stunt, that it had no practical significance. It was purely symbolic.
Sure.
If it was a political stunt, it was a very stupid political stunt. I personally take some insult to it. The West Bank is not going to be annexed by Israel. The policy of the Trump administration is that the West Bank will not be annexed by Israel. That will continue to be our policy. And if people want to take symbolic votes, they can do that. But we certainly weren't happy about it. Thank you.
Yeah. While the guy's out there visiting, finally, we get some motion in this whole entire area because, we've been giving them bombs and funding the shit out of everything that they've been doing. And for them to already fuck up the ceasefire, and they're going to tell you that it was the other guys fucking it up. But the other guys, they're basically, they got nothing. So if you keep trying to tell me that they're going to be doing something or any of that other crap, I just don't think that I'm going to believe you, right? Because literally, that seems to be what the case is here, right? Like everything that we're looking at and everything that we've been dealing with, come on. We've seen the pulse of the country. We've seen the rise of a certain type of the population, right? That like white flour or whatever coming back to fruition. And Machine Gun posting all of this crazy stuff. And it's like, who are the Nazis now? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, who is it going to be the bad guy in this thing? Are we the baddies, Hans? I don't know. I hope not. But, it seems like some rational thought. Like, this literally made me step back because, I thought this guy was funded by Peter Thiel and all this other shit. Is this a psyop? But no, seriously, the guy was literally just there. And he was visiting churches and shit. And when he went to visit Israel, these are the government. These are the correct images and stuff that need to be seen. Nobody wants to see anybody kissing a wall. They want you to go to the actual church, right? You want you to go to the real church, the number one church, the church that won. Yeah, Jesus number one, Jesus for life. Anyways, sorry. I'm probably going to hell for that, maybe. No? Never mind. I'm good. We're good. What do you mean lose weight? Fuck you. Anyways, so these are the images that I'd like to see. Yeah, I'd like to see that symbolic vote. I don't like to see that because I don't want to hear about Israel annexing the West Bank. I've made it pretty clear, like I believed in the two-state solution, and now I just believe in the Palestine solution, right? They need to have their state. They need to get their shit. They need to stop killing them. And these Hamas people, yeah, they need to go away or whatever. But, obviously only a fucking moron could not understand their plight, right? Well, a moron or somebody that just has no morals, maybe. And I feel like more and more when I look at this kind of thing, it's like, yeah, that's exactly what we should be looking at. We should be looking at this kind of thing, looking right back to the Lord. And we're not helping people. We're not doing anything positive for the world right now. Yeah, dude. And even more so, like, there's been a problem, right? There's always been a problem. And the problem is only metastasizing itself in such a way because they don't want you to talk about Jesus, right? They don't want to talk about how he died. They don't want to do any of that stuff. Like, they're trying to tell you how you're supposed to experience your religion. And don't come to me with this Judeo-Christian values bullshit because that's not a real fucking thing. It was like the 1920s when that came around. And even then, most of us Catholic people are like, nah, man. In a heartbeat, we take back the Holy Land. Fucking make another crusade, motherfuckers. Right? I'm not in the church anymore. I'm not technically in the church anymore, but if the church started calling for that shit, I don't know. I might have to start thinking about that. Because, obviously, I would definitely say I'm definitely not going to die for Israel, and I don't want any other Americans to having to be dying for Israel. I don't even believe that there should be Americans getting arrested by Israel and held, and there's a Palestinian American that's a child that is being held by the fucking military over there. And that's just fucking crazy. He's a little fucking terrorist. Like, back in the day, when I was hanging out with my friend Sean Elstings, Jason Turquist, they had another friend named Iran Sharabi. And this Iran guy with an E, he was like trying to tell me, he was like, oh, I'm from Israel. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah, that's like, where Jesus came from. Tight. And he was like, yeah, but it's our land. And I was like, well, I didn't say anything about that. I was like, yeah, Israel's owned by the Israelis or whatever. And I was like, You guys are like, keeping the place nice for us. We respect that. And then he started telling me about the Palestinians and how he viewed them as animals and all these other horrendous things. And I was just kind of like, bro, I mean, I was like, are you serious? Those are human beings, man. Like, you calling them animals. You telling me that they wipe their butts with their hands and all this other crap? I'm like, I didn't ask you about any of this stuff, but he couldn't just stop talking about it. And it was because he was in the IDF, right? He was every person, every male in Israel is supposed to be in the IDF, but like back then is another one of those times where I was just kind of like, I guess this guy's cool. We used to drink and party and stuff, like I'd just be like, yeah, I don't want to talk religion with this guy. Cause then he starts talking about Islam and all this other bullshit. And honestly, I don't want to go down that road. I just want to drink beer, do coke and party. Okay. Like that. I didn't want to have to deal with that shit. But I should have thought about it at least a little bit more because it's crazy to think that, this is how the folks are, right? This guy's looking at everything. This is how a lot of these folks are. Okay, these are set up pictures, where they're getting protected, whatever. They got all kinds of motherfuckers. Like, are all those dudes Secret Service right here? Even this fat guy, this fat Asian looking guy, is he? I don't know. I mean, ultimately, it's crazy to me that there hasn't been such more of a resurgence, with all the attacks and everything that we're seeing and everything that's happening. Judea and Samaria sovereignty vote, they're still doing these stuff. They're acting like, they're in charge of everything. And, that's the conspiracy theory, right? They run the world. They run the world. That's what I've heard 1,000 times before. But, like, this is kind of like the first indication, the first step that I've ever seen where they've decidedly been like, nah. Okay. No. You know what I'm saying? No. And even more so is that, should it even fucking be like that? Like, no, it shouldn't be like that. Right? And even Politico is like, yo, frustrations are boiling over after Vance delivers a firm message to Netanyahu. Like, yeah, this is just a symbolic vote. Motherfucker, like, yeah, it's symbolic. You're definitely not annexing the West Bank. Because just as fast as you got bombs from us, we could turn the faucet off, motherfuckers. And you get nothing. And if you have nothing and you don't got our support and protection, I'm pretty sure Qatar and a bunch of other people are going to go there. And then we'll truly see if the whole revelation shit is real, probably, right? Because it's going to be fire and brimstone. And I feel like a lot of people don't want to say this, but I feel like it needs to be said in a lot of ways is that, we've been supporting this. And this is a stain on the United States record, as a society for years and years and years and years to come. This is something that's going to be discussed in other countries where you don't even know about, where you go over there, you just try to visit. They're going to be looking back at this, and this is going to be the thing that they're attacking you about. And even to this day, playing like games like Star Citizen and talking to people from foreign countries, they all bring up the same things. They all ask about the same crap. They all try to make fun of the same crap without, really truly understanding that, hey, so we allow guns, right? It's because we know you don't have them. So it's going to take you a while to get enough to take ours. As a fact. Even more so, the White House finally putting their foot down. 2 weeks after Donald Trump triumphantly announced the deal to end the war in Gaza and bring peace to the Middle East, is it still being peaceful? No, they're still dropping bombs and they're still shooting stuff. They're still having fights. They're still doing everything that they were doing before. And it's already so fragile. So they just talked about a peace. They already talked about peace, right? They said, oh, yeah, we're going to have peace. But you know what? They're just pressing along and moving forward, still having votes saying, oh, yeah, that's our land. Even though, nobody's giving it to them. And, okay, they're going to take it. And we're just going to let them take it? I don't think so. I just feel like it should have never been like that. But I think people are exasperated at this point. I know I am. The fatigue is real. And it's coming from a bunch of different sides. That's why I like work, is because, work, we have everybody there at work, but it's just folks about work. And, there's no fatigue involved with anything like that. The people that create the fatigue, they disappear, right? On their own. They never last very long. So you got to think about it this way. It's like, we've been dealing with this for a long time. And now, the public is really starting to look into it. And this is exactly why Israel was always saved for last, is because you can't truly get a population away from extreme psychological conditioning without having the full scope. And, you got to realize is that for over 100 years, people have been experiencing psychological manipulations, right? Every form of religion in some kind of way has its roots in some form of psychological conversion or reversion, right? And you got to even think deeper, is that when these books and stuff started coming up and people started writing new types of Bibles and changing the text and whatnot that were going around into the United States, that in itself is a form of like a psyop, like a letter campaign where they're slowly but surely adjusting the overall thought process on what people are having for this. And this is why we have all these crazy pastors that, say, oh, well, Israel's the Holy Land and God is going to save them. But that's not what the fucking Bible says, That's not what it says. Oh, it says shit like synagogue. It says like Jesus saying synagogue of Satan. That's what it says, right? Seems pretty clear on what they were saying back in the day. And when people look at the Bible, it's like, well, when was that written? Well, it's all firsthand accounts, right? And it was all firsthand accounts that were collected individually and put together, right? And sure, they were edited and stuff 300 years after the fact at a Council of Nicaea. But you got to realize that it wasn't for like another fucking 500 years that any piece of, the Jewish mysticism or religion even existed, because it was a quote unquote oral tradition, even though when we look throughout history all the way into the times of Sumeria, it had almost never been the case that there was an oral tradition type religion and everything was somehow fucking written down with a scroll or a goddamn piece of clay. It's a fucking lines, something. Right. And then we keep finding these Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff. But the thing is that they're supporting one side and being made to subvert people on the other side. And that's the way that I've kind of looked at it this entire time, right? Like, the more that you look into this stuff, the more that we look at it is that people that say that Israel owns us, that's like a fucking logical fallacy, bro. Right? Because they don't. They think they might. I don't know. They think that they can manipulate you and stuff. But the problem is people have been manipulated so hard. And something like Q was almost designed in a way so that you would become so fatigued over these types of things and start to realize, notice these little things here, because then it's ultimately going to bring you to the actual true fight, right? Because Q is always about good and evil, right? God-fearing Christians, that's who it's supposed to be going after, almost reenacting a new type of crusader, in a sense, to fight the hordes of demons and miscreants that are come to follow. I mean, the United States is possibly being invaded, right? There's so many new people practicing Islam all over the place. And you know what? I'm not racist or afraid, but we've seen exactly what's happened in the UK. And it hasn't even been but a few years. And they're already electing these guys, and we're seeing Sharia law. They're telling there's a fucking mayor in, I think it was like Florida or something like that, where he's like an immigrant, and he's telling an American to get the fuck out of there. He's like, well, this is how this country is now, and if you don't like it, fuck you, leave. Like, what the fuck? That's not America. We're being invaded. But the thing is that we've been invaded for a long time, and we've been inundated with so many different people. The invaders that came before are pointing at you and pointing at the new ones and saying, no, you need to worry about them. And you're right, we do need to worry about that shit. You know, we went to war in the Middle East over all this stuff previously, right? And now all of a sudden we're about to do it again, but this time the American people aren't going to be just buying some bullshit. I mean, the internet exists now, and there's no way that they could truly manipulate the whole entire thing. Sure, we talked about technology that's going to make it a reality, but oh shit, FOMO TV just raided the stream. Thanks for the raid, FOMO TV. I didn't even know that you could do that on fucking Rumble. Seriously? How's that even work? What the fuck? How do I even get alerts for that? All I see is just says FOMO TV has raided the stream. Wait, maybe if I go to the actual Rumble page, it'll show me some shit? I don't know, because I don't see anything on the studio other than the chat message. Hold up. You know, odd God, this whole thing's got me riled up because we've literally been trying to figure out what's been happening with this for quite some time. Right? We want to know. I gotta turn on the AC. It's getting warm in here. I think a lot of people realized a long time ago that we're going to have to worry about these things in a much bigger way. Right? Because we're not making any friends in the Middle East. Right? When we haven't been making any friends and we've been losing a lot of support just as much as the other guys. Not as much as the other guys. Like, their support is very, very dwindled. I mean, it must be exhausting having to have all of those people collectively working together to try to make this happen, and then still, for some reason, it's just not working. The old tactics and tricks just don't seem to be working. What's going on? In reality, it's that their mind control programming isn't working anymore. People are opening up. People are coming up and waking up every single day. And it's making it very difficult. It's making it very difficult for them to keep this going. I mean, yeah, Netanyahu and his government go, and they're going to be like, oh, I don't understand. But it's like, we're not dumb. We're not your slaves. We don't owe you anything. You haven't provided us with shit. I think I saw a tweet today from Ted Cruz that was just basically saying, he was like, oh, Israel's our greatest ally. And somebody's like, yeah, what the fuck do they give us? And he was like, oh, the Mossad intelligence that they give us is crucial. And I'm like, motherfucker, we have literally seen government documents and intel briefings that repeatedly have said that the fucking Mossad are not to be trusted, and they always giving us garbage fucking intel because they're just trying to get us to go do things for them. Like, what the fuck? Right? I mean, and it goes back far. We looked at the JFK file shit that the Trump people released, and what did it show? I mean, for whatever reason, there was a lot of stuff that said that they're like, yeah, we could be trusting that dead Israel. And then who killed fucking the dude? Jack Ruby or Jack Rubenstein? I mean, this shit's fucked up, but you know what? It's the reality. We're reading into this stuff. You know, Congress is full of dual citizens. John Dinas, Qatar gave us a plane. Oh, fucking plane. One fucking plane. You know, give us a little more. Give us some oil or something. Aren't they giving us that too? You know, like, I don't even know that much about Qatar. I know more about Israel than I know about Qatar, right? I don't even think I've ever met a fucking soul. I've never met a person from there. I don't even think I've ever met a person that's been there. Maybe I have. Maybe. But they never mentioned it. But it's like, ever since 9/11, and those people that were dancing outside, and the fucking triggers and the fuse boxes and all of that other stuff, that all adds up into a very interesting puzzle that everybody always leaves the anhydrous ammonia equation out of the equation. But legitimately, it's all there. You have all of the information, and we look at it and we wonder, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to say? Right? So is the administration really going to start backing people up? Is Vance just kind of talking out his ass and going to get reamed by Daddy Trump? Or are we still going to be seeing all these things? U.S. official, if Netanyahu fucks up the deal, Donald Trump will fuck him. That's coming out of the Times of Israel. Oh, really? That's what they said. They said that right there. That's what they put. Really? You know, we're looking at like weapons grade psychological operation material, and we're seeing an apparatus working on overdrive, even with all the AI in the world, that is never going to be able to succeed, which is great, which is kind of like, you know, what the plan was. But here we go. U.S. President Donald Trump will fuck Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu if the Israeli leader jeopardizes the Gaza ceasefire deal, a U.S. official said to a Channel 12 report. Correspondent Barak Ravid, speaking in Hebrew on the network, says that a U.S. official told him that. Oh, so who was the U.S. official? When did he tell him that? Why would he tell him that? And then why are we listening to Barak Ravid say that that's what happened? Because I feel like that's not what he said. I feel like we're maybe playing some telephone, because I haven't actually heard Trump say anything like that. But I did hear him say no annexation of the West Bank today. But he didn't say that he's going to, if he fucks up the Gaza deal, he's going to fuck him up. I didn't hear that. I don't know if I believe all that. That seems a little sussy-wussy if you ask me, okay? I mean, we can look it up real quick. I'll pull up another Explore page and be like, Trump Gaza. Let's just see what the headlines look like, right? So let's see. Ending his war. What's this? Trump is furious. I don't support the Americans. What? Our friend from Gaza thanks Chuck for the ceasefire deal in the right way. Wait, what?
People told me thanks Trump for the ceasefire. Let's thank him in the right way. Thank you for giving the IDF billions of dollars to define themselves from our children. Thank you for using the veto not once, 10 times to make sure the bombs falling for us. Veto. Thank you for using smart muscle. It's so smart. Always find their way to our children.
They always find their way to our children.
I didn't know defense mean bombing school and hospitals. And thank you for your silence. It's so louder than any exploitation we hear.
Damn! Damn! Fucking roasted, son. I mean, it doesn't feel right. Like, look at this.
We're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
Master
so
plans
already.
We have
master
plans already. We have a
plans.
master plan already. And
Master
by the way,
plan.
Jared's been pushing this. And
Uh-oh,
we're
Jared
working
looks
together.
pissed.
We're working with a group of people who have been working on master
Kushner.
plans for the last 2 years.
Excuse me, you're not supposed to mention the fucking master plan, bitch!
Already.
We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, and Jared's been pushing this, and we're working together. We're working with a group.
Yeah. Okay, so Trump's gonna go against his kid's husband? That's what's gonna be happening? No, dude. It's like these guys have been getting into the family. I mean, they've been getting into his family all the time, right? It doesn't seem like it's real, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Because is he really gonna fuck up years of that shit? Wasn't he just saying a couple of years ago, or was it even a year ago, that, oh yeah, we're gonna build a hotel on the West Bank, right? Like, what the fuck, dude? You serious, bro? Can't be real. It can't be real. But guess what? I think it is actually fucking real, dude. And it's a little bit scary. You know, I'd rather not say anything else, but it definitely feels like, yeah, this is a psyop. Maybe Kushner is putting him in a corner to come in. I don't know, dude. Maybe.
Él es el responsable de haber desatado una política que llevaba a millones de venezolanos fuera y ahora entonces saca a los venezolanos a la fuerza a rajo y a patadas. Y eso no se hace. Pero el primer responsable se llama el señor Trump, y hay que decirlo. No, Boomerang en la política. El señor
Trump lleva 9 meses en el poder en este gobierno.
El señor Trump gobernó antes, amigo.
Sí,
Póngale el primer gobierno y vea lo que pasó allí. Casi que hay guerra entre Colombia y Venezuela. Le da rabia al señor Trump que yo no apoye a los norteamericanos con el ejército colombiano para invadir Venezuela. No, señor. ¿A qué estúpido colombiano se le puede ocurrir ayudar a invadir donde están sus primos, sus sobrinos, su gente colombiana, que hay 4 millones, para que los maten como en Gaza? Él es el responsable.
Yeah. I guess we didn't even think or cover the whole situation in Venezuela. We've been pretty quiet about that one. Have we not? It's ceased firing bullets, but we're still dropping bombs, right? Kushner and Bibi, their family friends, Trump and Kushner, our family. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to extrapolate this out. So if we want to go completely conspiratorial and all of this stuff, I mean, we're not even in a conspiracy phase here. We're just looking at the main connections and making direct connections to people. Like if we had one of those pin boards with all the fucking shit, it would look like a geometric pattern. It's so fucking interconnected. So, can we believe any of that stuff? Can we think it's the truth?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's what I think, dude. Yep.
You're builders. You've been in real estate. Tell us more about the plan and how much it's going to cost. Where's the money going to come from?
The plan.
Who's going to award the contracts?
I think it's going to cost a lot of money.
It's going to cost a lot of money.
The estimates are in the $50 billion range. It might be a little bit
I got
less,
that. I could pay for that. That's easy. $50 million, no problem.
Not a lot of money in that region. You have governments that are going to jump on in.
Middle East countries are going to provide the money.
What you'll see European
the Middle
participation and so forth. The beginning of this plan is...
I should just pay for it and then let them build the whole thing and then kick them out.
Is how to get it going. That's what me and Jared work on all the time. The money raising we think is the easy part.
Does Jared Kushner still own that 666 building in Manhattan? I don't know. I thought they sold it. Didn't he sell it? Sold to Kushner Management Companies, renovation. Yeah, it's like, how are they going to be building 66? Oh, it's 660. Now, they changed it from 666 because they didn't want to be devils or whatever. Yeah, I fucking believe that shit. Yeah, I think he still owns it, actually. No, it says Brookfield Properties. Brookfield Properties is a commercial real estate company that owns it now. And the CEO is Brian Kingston. So it's probably one of his friends. You know, they probably were like, they're like Eskimo brothers or something. I don't know. Yeah. Doesn't seem too I don't seem too trusting in it.
But it's the master plan. And
he never did any of that stuff that he said he was going to do it. Damn, Granger Man coming in with a freaking super chat for 1111. He says, for the master plan fund. Yes, that's right. Yes, send me your money. I like money. I love money. It's the way we're supposed to be, right? You're supposed to be like, buddy. Thank you, Granger Man, for that 11.11 donation. Appreciate that for the master plan. That's right.
People who have been working on
they can have Antarctica
for the last 2 years.
So there are plans already.
Yeah. We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, Jared's been pushing
master
this.
Plan.
We're working together on it. And I think if the world saw the progress so far, they'd be pretty impressed.
Yeah, that guy's the Antichrist, the dude that can't even fucking speak up? Yeah, I don't fucking think so. What's this? Oh, yeah. That was him signing the peace deal. Al Sharam El Sheikh, Egypt. Damn, look at this motherfucker right here. Like the mustache, buddy.
Okay.
That mustache goes hard, dude.
This took 3,000 years.
3,000 years.
To this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too. It's going to hold up.
Better. Fucking Netanyahu, son of a bitch.
Okay, thank you.
3,000 years to get to this point. If you believe in the Bible, you know what that means, right? We've seen a pale horse. Are they going to start giving out horses and sacrificing cows and shit? We're going to start seeing them worshiping Molech, Raphaim, Satan, the dark one. Dude, if I see his ass again, I'm going to fucking whoop his ass. Don't even give a shit. I don't give a fuck about no master plan. If I see your ass on the fucking TV, you pulling some bullshit, I'm teleporting right to you and I'm whooping your ass again. I don't give two fucks. They're gonna have to send a holy fucking army to stop me. When's the Greenland purchase closing in? I don't think that we've bought the Greenland yet. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh. Crazy. Well, that sucks for him. Yeah, dude. Oh, they already sacrificed the red heifer? When they sacrificed the red heifer, I didn't even see that shit. Was it good? Did they at least eat the motherfucker? Or did they just, like, they burned it, let it rot? Like, goddamn devil worshippers? Allegedly. Yeah. I don't know. We need to buy something. I need some cheap land to live on. All I have is this little box, and it's not even mine. But I like it. It's comfortable. Can't really have bitches over, but I don't need bitches. I have the Lord.
You can use my pen if you want. Have a pen? Want to use mine? Okay.
Yeah, you want to use my pen? Aren't they supposed to save that pen? That's supposed to be like the pen that's mightier than the sword right there. If you take that pen, you stab somebody in the neck, they're fucking dead, dude. Ultima pen. That shit's the Elder Wand.
Okay.
Demons do smell like burnt offerings because they are indeed burnt. Pleasing aromas is what people like. Anyways, I don't think we need to watch this whole thing. But we do need to be paying attention to what these guys are saying. It does make some sense to really appreciate and understand what is at least happening in this particular space, because, like, they're obviously scared. Right? Trump says Israel will not be going to do anything with the West Bank as the U.S. fumes over the annexation vote. You know? They're not stopping. They're putting it out there. Don't worry about the West Bank. U.S. President Donald Trump declared Israel is not going to do anything with the West Bank. That's actually all we've ever heard. And he leveraged harsh criticisms against Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government after lawmakers advanced legislation to annex parts of the West Bank while Vice President J.D. Vance was visiting the country. Don't worry about the West Bank, he says. Since the Knesset voted on 2 bills Wednesday, don't worry about it. Israel's doing very well. They're not going to do anything with it. Oh, really? They're not going to do anything with it? Yeah, I was told there would be tunnels, and the tunnels will be full of terrorists, but all I'm finding down here is starving children and women. Did you lie to me? It sucks, man, dude. Because you're going to get labeled if you even bring this up. You're going to tell you're an anti-Semite. You could have been the most virulent anti-Nazi person that ever existed, punching Nazis every day. And now immediately you've been othered. And then eerily it's going to feel very similar to what a Democrat would do to you. Now, isn't it? But even then, that whole party is in shambles because they can't decide who their big donors are going to be. And it's almost like we're seeing a resurgence of craziness within the Democratic Party because I guess, like, you know, there's the Muslims have decided they're going Democrat. Or at least some of them. Yeah, where's the yellow cake? I don't know. What do you mean yellow cake? Who knows? And this is all the asset of Russia, right? Trump abandons carrot and wheel stick over Trump and Ukraine in the talks, right? Trump has been saying that he's going to get this Russia peace deal, but then he cancels the meeting, and then all of a sudden they're putting big tariffs and stuff back on everybody, and then everybody else is answering up the tariffs and stuff, and it's just a little strange. It's like when I see pictures of this guy and Benjamin Netanyahu, Putin and Benjamin Netanyahu, as warlike warhawks, they're not very different, are they? They both have these ideas that they're going to get their land and nobody can tell them or to stop or make them stop. So, you know, they annexed already and did all that shit earlier in the last couple of years, and then they've been going after Ukraine ever since, right? So we had Crimea, and then we had Ukraine, and okay, Russia's bigger than Israel, but you know what is really the difference in what we're seeing here? I mean, maybe there's less bombs being dropped. Actually, I would like to see some numbers on that. How many bombs have been dropped in the Ukraine war versus how many tons of bombs have been dropped in the Israel war? What are the death tolls like? You know? That's really the question that you have to ask yourself, is that we know the Russian war is bad, yet it's still dragging on. And then Israel started doing all this other shit, becoming upstart because of, you know, an attack. And then they went way too hard on everything. And then they've been doing it nonstop ever since, losing just massive support, right? Like no rational, God-fearing human being could agree with it. And it's so crazy to see the ones that are considered to be irrational beings, right? The ones that are in the streets at the Free Palestine rallies that don't wear, you know, socks or underwear and wear deodorant. Those ones, they're even agreeing. And it's a very rare thing, right? That's a very rare thing. I think people haven't been talking about very clearly or crazy or whatever. I don't know, man. What I do think is that we really do need to see something here, right? We need to see some type of change instead of seeing Russia over and over and over again. And it's nice to see Trump taking a hard position, but you know what? He's needed to be doing this for a long time. And he should have been taking a hard line position on the Israelis too, but no, he apparently likes the money and is okay with all of that shit. So we just have to kind of fucking deal with it, right? Yet, the more we start looking at it, Trump, didn't he just try to make a deal with U.S. beef farmers only to turn around and quadruple the Argentinian beef tariff rate quota? So it's just basically going to be importing meat from Argentina to the United States, further pushing down the ability for United States farmers to make any money. I mean, it's just move and counter move that just doesn't make sense. And then what we're supposed to be going after Venezuela, right? And on top of all of that, we're apparently building an $800 billion White House edition.
That, frankly, they've been after for years. You have that. I brought these along so people could see, but it's,
Red velvet cake? What kind of terrorisms can you do with that?
Nobody's actually seen anything quite like it. I think it'll be one of the great ballrooms anywhere in the world. It's about $300 million. It's set to do many, many things, including meetings of foreign leaders, including the honoring of foreign leaders. You can see this. This is a plan. If it's got tables so that you honor a foreign leader, we have a proper space. Right now, we have a space that with tables holds about 79 people.
Teleprompter.
And this is a proper kind of a thing. Now, what the White House was doing, as you know, is they were putting tents out on the lawn. This is an interior shot of the ballroom. I think there'll be nothing like it. And it's being paid for 100% by me and some friends of mine, donors to it. The government's paying absolutely nothing. We're also working with the military on it because they want to make sure everything's perfect. And the military is very much involved in this.
Very, very nice. You know? So Trump's building a big gaudy
personality
ballroom.
disorder. The other thing, though, about
Trump's building a big gaudy ballroom in the middle of this, and you know what? They just can't let him go there. But here's how apparently it polls according to the Daily Beast. Apparently, a lot of people that are Democrats strongly disapprove. Yes, strongly disapprove. But the Republicans seem to approve it. I'm guessing the White House area was torn down as a security risk or needs a bigger underground bunker. So this is all a clever story. That's actually what I was going to say too. Right? Like, okay, so let's see. We're having some troubles. Trump probably was like, so what are you guys going to do in case of a nuclear explosion? I'm supposed to be taken to some place 150 miles away that may or may not make it to. You know, now fuck that, dude. We're going to build a goddamn ballroom, but under the goddamn ballroom, we're going to build a goddamn massive bunker. I mean, probably. Like, that place is huge, dude. The thing is huge. It's massive. It's big as fuck. And, I mean, they're tearing off a little tiny chunk of it, and it's just going to be huge with big-ass windows and chandeliers. Just to be honest with you, though, seeing the pictures of it, I just feel really sorry for whoever's going to have to clean all that shit, because those are some high as fuck ceilings, okay? Like, how are you supposed to get in there? Like, what are you going to do? Bring in a fucking scissor lift? The dude's going to be on a scissor lift fucking, like, cleaning that shit? You're going to have some, like, long-ass, heavy-ass pole in there? Like, how's that work? What's supposed to happen? You ain't getting a ladder in there. Like, what? Is somebody going to be up there in their ladder? Yeah, there already is a bunker there. Maybe he needed a bigger bunker. He's like, no, I don't like this bunker. We're going to need to make a bigger bunker. That's better. That's going to be a matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, rich donor donated $150 million to pay our troops. Were they Jewish? I don't know. Didn't hear about that. That's okay. I mean, it's not like things are stopping right in their tracks all over this stuff, but, you know, crazy shit's still happening. I mean, did you guys hear about the NBA stars and mafia that got arrested in the largest illegal gambling crackdown that we've seen in a very long time? Yeah, NBA stars like Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier and Damon Jones are among those who were arrested in an illegal gambling case. Yeah, where they were basically pretending to have injuries and losing games on purpose so that people could make a bunch of motherfucking money. And that's something that FBI Director Kash Patel just busted out, saying that it was mind-boggling fraud involving tens of millions of dollars across many years. Yeah, there are two incidents. One is related to sports betting, and one is related to alleged rigging of illegal poker games. NBA stars, including current Terry Rozier and current coach Chauncey Billups and blah, 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 were all running an illegal gambling ring. Yeah. Trump needs a ballroom. Why does he need a ballroom? So he can dance with his wife? I don't know, bro. Did you hear about this? This seems like so much more interesting.
Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today.
Damn. So they took down a bunch of criminals, huh? Illegal pokering, X-ray gambling tables, smart cards, special contacts, and then rigging fucking sports games. Yeah. DraftKings says it takes reports of illegal activity seriously. Yeah, if you know somebody that's on DraftKings that's fucking cheating their asses off, make sure you tell us about it. So I guess they can't say that, Cash Patel's not doing his job. I mean, if it's been going on for years, how come the FBI hasn't picked up on it before? You know what I mean? Why is it something that we're barely just hearing about now? Well, that's the way that they fucking do these fucking things, but it definitely seems a bit sussy-wussy, if you ask me. Seems a little thuth. It's really thuth. I mean, it could probably get worse, right? You could be that kid that was 16 years old that's terrified to go back to school after an AI system mistakenly sent 20 more police officers after him after a gun detection software falsely flagged a Doritos bag as a firearm, leading to armed officers to hold the student at gunpoint. He said, "They made me get on my knees, put my hands behind my back, and then they cuffed me." Oh no. Dude, like, what? A Dorito bag? Looks like a fucking gun? You gotta be shitting me, dude. That can't be fucking real. Are you serious? Yeah, dude. AI's tight, but it ain't ready for some shit, dog. And any motherfucker that keeps trying to tell me that it is, but it's whatever. But then again, here's something funny. This is Rachel Maddow finding out that Comcast helped destroy the White House. Comcast owns her show.
I think I'm going to have to hand this off. Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to hand this off.
Hold on. To at least 3.
Wow, Alteria Group, Amazon, Apple, Booz Allen Hamilton, Caterpillar, Coinbase, Comcast, JPEP, and Amelia Fanjul, Hard Rock International, Google, HP, Lockheed Martin, they all paid for the ballroom?
Can we put up the graphic of this? Thank you. Do we have it? I think I'm going to have to hand this off.
Poor guys. I mean, it could have happened to a better assholes, to be perfectly bluntly honest with you. I don't know, though. The whole thing just seems a lot very, very suspect. Is Rachel a man? I don't know. Yeah. Probably rolled up and bent like a gun shape, maybe? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was holding it like, the point. Like one of the points on the ends in there, and it was like that, like a gun. Yeah, maybe not. Probably not. Yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is that this shit's getting pretty fucking weird. It's been getting weirder and weirder and weirder the more nefarious and crazy that it's ever been. Yeah, I don't know, man. Election interferences, people getting grounded. Yeah, this one kind of seems a little sus. Alaska Airlines flights have been grounded due to an IT outage affecting all their operations. Yeah, probably a little strange, dude. Very strange. I don't know. The only thing that I didn't think was strange up today was just actually seeing that maybe Trump and Vance and the government are going to take a stand to the atrocities that are happening. But even then, are U.S. sanctions really going to be helping anyone with anything? Because we got sanctions on Israel, right? No, actually, we don't. You know, I don't think it's really going to start feeling anything unless we start actually stop sending them shit and making them pay the same shit that we're making everybody else pay. Because I don't think that you're going to convince me that they've been the most positive ally that we've had. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But hey, what is this? Watch as the video appears to show the alleged jewel thieves escaping. Damn, son. So those are like the jewel thieves? Jewel thieves? Putain!
La police.
Olaf from Thailand. Wow. So wait a minute. They actually caught the Louvre jewel thieves and it wasn't just one guy. It was multiple people. Damn. I want to do a heist. Let's go heist some shit. You guys want to do a heist? You guys want to rob a bank? Let's rob a bank. Yeah. No. That's illegal. It's a fucking legal, okay? Can't do it. Can't do it. Not allowed to do it. Not something that you're allowed to do. No. No, 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 no. Oh, well. I feel like there's been a lot of stuff going on that has been very strange, I'd have to say. But at least we're finally getting a little bit of motion in the ocean about this whole Israel thing. I mean, is it going to win Trump points? Probably. But it's probably going to be with some of the right people too. I just think that we need to be we needed to be taking a much harder line stance on this whole thing, just to save face for us. Yep. And honestly, I'm more worried about prices of everything, because I mean, shit, just the prices of everything just keeps going up. So all tariffs aside, you know, tariff wars do suck, but the prices aren't getting any better than they used to be, and they're starting to be at the same place that they were before. So I don't know. I kind of think we're in a bad situation all around, and trying to force the country into a war is not the move. But at the same time, I mean, what can we really do other than what we've already been doing? Any type of motion that we do either way, I think, is just going to be a super big problem for us. So the best thing that we could do, like, shit, if we weren't sending all that money elsewhere, we'd probably have a lot less to worry about. I have to think. I mean, they said they were going to make all these cuts, but they didn't cut certain things, and those ones kind of seemed to be, well, they told us that they were the most important, but in reality, I don't think it was important. I think that we could have alleviated a lot of disaster that has happened on the global scale by simply not paying that bill. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All I want to do is worry about what's really happening. Right. And if people are going to be getting sent over to war or be getting put out onto the table. And I mean, obviously people need to be interacting on a daily basis, but it's so crazy to see how psyoped people are getting over this stuff and how manipulated a lot of these platforms are. That's why it's like Facebook's actually kind of a nice reprieve, because all of that shit just shows me is sexy ladies. This the whole fucking thing. My algorithm's fucked and I don't even care. But, you know, on Twitter, what am I seeing? I'm fucking seeing anti this, anti that, protest this, protest that, another bad thing happening, and it's just a real fucking drag, man. It's a super fucking drag. Mm-hmm. We just got to think, when are we as Americans gonna get some fucking relief? That's the true question. Is when do we get relief? Right? Because if something bad happens to us, who's going to come save us? That's the question. And damn sure it ain't going to be Israel or Russia. I'll tell you what. They ain't going to be fucking helping us for shit. But I would expect Australia and the UK to help us out, probably, maybe, possibly. I don't know. It just depends on if they get taken over by the caliphate or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Oh, well. Well, I think that's pretty much it for us today. Not very much on this one, but I figured, we would at least discuss this particular situation, right? Because Trump seemingly putting his foot down. I mean, it's going to be a we'll see type situation, I think, right? I'll believe it when I see it, is what I'm saying. Is really what I'm going to say. I'm hoping that it'll happen. I'm hoping that they're going to shut him down, but I guess we'll just have to see. We just have to see, my friends. So let me know. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, share this with your friends, do all that good stuff. And I guess we'll see you guys again on the next one. Let me know what you think. Tell me if you're wondering what's really happening with a lot of this stuff. Because I'm wondering too. We don't know who's bought and sold or paid for. Everybody's trying to get signed up everywhere. And I mean, most of us are just trying to get to work and get home and sleep and get back. I don't know. Anyways, much love to you. See you guys later. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share this with your friends, or don't. It's completely up to you. And I guess I'll see you later. Bye-bye now. Be well, my friends. And be safe out there. I pushed the wrong button. Be safe out there. Bye, Father Time. Bye, Chicken Little Said So. Bye, John Demas. Bye, Yogi. Bye, J.R. Riggs. Bye, Doc Rocks. Bye, Chicken Little Said So. Bye, Poor Man's Gold PMG. Bye, Mr. Blacksmith. Bye, Chris Bumbaugh. Bye, Ranger Man. Bye, everybody. Have a good